and welcome back to the GoLoud Sessions. On today's episode, we meet comedians Julie J and Fred Cooke to talk all things life in lockdown with baby Ted and starting their brand new podcast, Trapped with Fred and Julie. Enjoy. I'll kick off because I need to ask you, right? So you helmed two very successful podcasts already. You host Up to 90 with the lovely Emma Doran, and you do Crime Land, which is amazing for true crime fans out there. Why did you want to do a third podcast with Fred? How did it come about?
Well, I probably wanted to do a third podcast because I was like, do you know what? I need another Instagram account in my life. Like, that's definitely what I need right now. No, do you know, I honestly, myself and Fred, I actually asked Fred ages ago to do a podcast with me. But hilariously, I think you were holding out on other people to do the podcast with, and then they fell through. Wasn't that it?
Yeah.
So I think, was it Podge from Ham Sandwich?
That's it, yeah.
So I asked him, bear in mind, like I was pregnant at the time. So I was like, oh, just suppose you want to do a podcast with me, baby daddy. And he was like, you know what? I'd love to do one with Podge. And anyway, Podge...
I'm kind of busy at the moment. That's what it says.
So Podge was busy. Turns out Podge is a bit of a rock star. And so he was a bit busy. So Fred came back to me. And because I have no self-respect, Fanula, I was only dying. I leapt at the chance to do a third podcast with Fred.
Fred, how would you describe the podcast to anyone who hasn't listened yet?
I think it's good fun, isn't it? It's
crack.
It's easy going. It's not heavy. Do you know what I mean? I guess we talk about, stuff like festivals, and we talk about jobs, but we also talk about stuff. We've also got funny stuff as well.
That helps.
Yeah, exactly.
It's basically just like a couple chatting, but I do think, I know this might sound a bit biased, but I actually think the episodes so far, we were surprised at how funny they were.
Yeah,
they were. We actually had great crack doing them.
When you take other comedians' material and put it into your own podcast, you'd be surprised how funny the whole thing is at the end.
Honestly, thank you, Carl Spain. Keep them going.
Cut and paste. It's really easy podcast.
Poor old Carl probably is thinking, maybe I should start a podcast. Little does he know, he's kind of already doing one.
It's already done, Carl. Sorry, too late. Do you ever clash about what you want to talk about, or do you go in with a plan, or is it a case of, like, myself and Brie to be very haphazard when it comes to prep for bandwagons? Are you the same, or is it very like, right, I'm going to do this, you're going to do this, we're not talking about that, we'll definitely talk about this? How do you approach it?
Well, we would have an overall topic, wouldn't we, Fred?
Absolutely. I think you're a bit more organised than I'll be now. I'm a bit more on the haphazard side.
I am a nerd, but I think, to be fair, we never know what so we'll have an overarching topic. So the last couple we did jobs. What was the one before that?
What was it, jobs? And then we did holidays. Did we do holidays?
Yeah, we did holidays. Yeah. And then our first one. What was our first episode again?
This is lockdown 3. I can't independently think.
The leaving search. The leaving search.
The leaving search.
So we will pick a topic. So we'll say, let's talk about the leaving search, and then we'll go off, but we won't know what the other one's going to talk about. So it's just the overarching topic. I was mad to talk about dating, and we do have one recorded, but we haven't released it yet. I kind of had to force you into that one, though, Fred.
Yeah, we've had to pay it for our lawyers independently, and then we see if we put it up.
Yeah, I know. I need legal representation before I ditch the dirt.
But Fanula, with media, I'm sure you know this more than anyone, that even if you are prepared at times, that it rarely goes the way it's meant to go anyway. So it's better to kind of keep on the loose flow of stuff. You know what I mean? So there's a bit of freedom in it. Absolutely, yeah. So I think we've nailed a happy spot between both of those, like.
Yeah. They're the best podcasts, I think.
He's hit my spot. Keep it clean, Fred. No talk of the happy spot.
I'm just delighted it's happy. Because I never know. It's not like,
Guys, can I ask, because I always ask this, but I think it's interesting because of your podcast and the dynamic, and because you're a couple and whatever else, if you could pick any other couple, dead or alive, blue sky thinking, can be anyone, to have on the podcast to talk about anything, who would it be?
Oh, that's a great question.
Yeah.
Another couple. Well,
did the both have to be dead?
No.
No, one of them can be alive. One of them.
All right, okay. I'm like, shit. I was like, Courtney Love. technically we can have her in the interview, but it's going to be a bit awkward having Kurt Cobain.
But you know what? Actually, Courtney Love and Kurt Cobain would be deadly, because I used to be obsessed with Courtney Love. That was actually part of the reason I went to Trinity, because she went to Trinity for a while, and I was like, I'm going. Yeah. Between that and hearing that Joshua Jackson was supposed to be doing arts, aka Pacey from Dawson's Creek, I was like, I'm in. I know. I'm sure. Where is he gone? He was in the, what was the one? And now when they see us, he was in that as the lawyer.
Yes,
wasn't
yeah.
He's just disappeared. Well, no, so I'd actually say Courtney Love and Kurt Cobain as well.
Yeah.
Would they be your choice?
I'd love to interview them. Yeah, I often wonder if Kurt, God love him, if it's alive today. You know, after seeing Dave Grohl being interviewed recently, you know, he always gets the Ireland thing. And tell me, have you been to Ireland? And do you have any Ireland relations? And I always think Kurt Cobain was so in on himself, and he was never that. I wouldn't say he was media savvy, but he never wanted to give too much. So I'd love to interview Kurt Cobain. Just go, do you love Ireland? Look, you're an amazing grunge albums in Neutral, and it's an awful pity we didn't get to tour that. And I'd take it. But before do you love it? Do you love Ireland, Kurt?
Do you love the pints?
Exactly.
I'm sure you do.
Do you love gigging here? Does it make you smile?
Kurt, tell me, is it your second cousin from Longford, is it? Oh, I know him. You know, he's just.
So what are the Irish crowds like? Are they the best, Kurt? I'm sure they are.
Stop! I always want to scrub myself with a Brillo pad every time an American film star is interviewed, because we're mad for the love.
Exactly.
Aren't we?
Yeah. We need
we're
to be validated more
so
in the personal interview.
Yeah, truly. Talk to me about 2020, because overall, not a great year for the majority of people, but you've been absolutely flying it. Baby Ted, engagement.
No, good how was it for you? As well. Good things happen as well.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. How dare you?
I mean, it's been tough for everyone.
No, yeah, it was.
Ted had an awful year, but did you hear flying it?
Ted's like, it's fucked. No, well, now to be fair, Fred, he was bawling, crying when he proposed to me, but I'd like to think they were just tears of joy, not like kind of an entrapment vibe. And no, it was on a personal level, it was actually a great year. And baby Ted has just been amazing. I'm mad to do the whole Ted spam thing on the Instagram, but then, I suppose you're trying to be protective as well, aren't you? You don't want to put him out there too much. But he's just the best thing that ever happened. So 2020 will always be a deadly year for me, because Ted came along.
Yeah, it was a good year. You know what I mean? There was obviously there's so much sadness and so much unexpectancy, but at the same time, you know what I mean? I guess you count your blessings, and we've been very blessed.
And it has been hard. It definitely has been hard. Even this week out, I think a lot of people are feeling it at the moment. It's just not being able to see your family, and it is going to be very strange when the extended family meet Ted, because even say our parents haven't really met Ted yet. So it's amazing to have him, but it's definitely been strange. On the plus side, I mean, we're at home all the time with Ted, which is nice, because we're not really working.
No, it doesn't. I think we were saying he must feel we're like the cast of Friends, that we just exist in the house and we've no jobs.
Yeah,
we just walk around.
He's looking at us like, how do you afford this? None of you work. That's the vibe. And then Fred is the Tommy show, of course. Well, that's probably the bit of work you have.
Exactly. Yeah. Which another thing I'm very, delighted to have. You know what I mean? Just that once a week to break it up.
Well, it's once a week, but Fred does get 3 days out of the trip. So I'm like, really? Is it that far away?
But Julie doesn't know it takes an awful lot of preparation. I have to prepare. I have to say Brian O'Driscoll maybe 1,000 times in one day.
Julie, you can't get it wrong in the night.
Brian O'Driscoll.
You're right.
It's a lot of preparation.
You're right.
The pressure knowing that I could say the wrong name at any moment is a lot to take on. But sure, look, I do it.
You'd be like, if you did say the wrong name, it'd be like, remember when the Moonlight won the Oscar?
Yeah.
A mistake.
It'd be that kind of vibe. What happened there? What's your theory, Fionnuala? Conspiracy or just genuine mistake?
I like to lean into the conspiracy thing of it. I think there's a little bit of me. I think it's 50-50. But
was it La La Land? Was that the one they said won?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, okay. And it was Moonlight. Oh, did you ever watch Moonlight?
I did. No, I haven't seen Moonlight, but I've seen La La Land.
Amazing.
Moonlight is very good. Well, and like imagine that. Like, can we go back to that level of excitement where people saying the wrong things was like we got a full week of the news cycle out of it as opposed to what's going on currently? My God, give it a rest.
It's just crazy, isn't it? Yeah. Do you remember
So
last
mad.
Christmas we were like those poor people in China? Anyway, back
Anyway,
to me.
back to
Shots. Little did we know what was coming, and little did I know I was pregnant.
Fred, I was going to ask about, and I suppose yourself as well, Julie, just in terms of work. Like, obviously, Fred, you mentioned you're very lucky with the Tommy Tiernan show and the success of that. But like, comedy, I think, is just, it's one of those industries. There's so many industries that have been like massively impacted by this and not necessarily gotten the support, or it's been very hard for it to adapt, obviously, because live comedy is so unique and it's hard to bring that virtually. How have you found that in general with like the rest of your gigs? Are you doing a lot of online gigs? Are you allergic now, or what's your where's your mind at with it?
I was a bit allergic to online gigs, but the more I did them, the more I enjoyed them. Like it's not the same virtually, you know what I mean? It's like you know, but at the same time, it's fine. And you know, it's not that I miss the gigs, but if I was told I could never do a live gig again, you know, I'd be devastated. So it's just hope. It's constant hope of because you do no more than Julie. Like we kind of lose our sense of placement. You know, like beyond the financial side of it. But overall, I'm fine. You know what I mean? I'm not like. You know, I'm not going to do my supplements yet, and it's independent about it. So I'll tell you, I'll send them my pictures first.
But you see,
like loads of pictures of me, and then a little bit very sad, just in the corner, very sad. But loads of proper pictures sent of me. Like I think I'll do that instead.
But you see, you're one of Fred is a rare beast in comedy because Fred loves gigging. Like most comedians, they have this very strange relationship with gigging in that they don't actively enjoy it, but it's this madness which propels them. But Fred, like you just live for the gigs. So I feel bad. I feel bad for you because you genuinely love being on the road.
Oh yeah, I do. I love the drive home even. You know, I love going somewhere. I love sitting in my car and going somewhere. So it's and I still do that. Like I did it last night. I drove 2.5 kilometers to, you know, decided to see because I'm just so used to doing it. You know what I mean? I need to be somewhere and so I love the process of it. I mean, jokes, you know, it's kind of like, you know, when you have these singer-songwriters and they're not really singer-songwriters, they're not performers until they leave their bedroom and they do a gig in front of 3 people. Do you know what I mean? On a Wednesday night at an open mic session in Temple Bar, and that's all gone, you know. So I feel like that. I feel like the kid with a guitar writing songs that no one will ever hear, you know. I'm doing the equivalent of that with jokes and stuff, but saying that, you know, there was a little bit of a grace period in phase 3 when it was funny, you know what I mean? Because we were only allowed 15 people per gig. And like all of a sudden I sold out my whole tour in seconds. I could have done Kel's 100 nights going in a row. And
you felt like Neil Delamere to me. He was like sold out. Castle Bar sold out. Galway
I'd often say the audiences were kind of like my hair because they were spread out evenly to give an illusion of volume. You know? They couldn't be too close. But you know, even doing this is great fun, and like we've done some online gigs, haven't we?
Yeah, that we've had some. We did one actually with Road Faraday at the weekend, and we're going to be doing that one again on Paddy's Day. And I mean, that was great crack. And like with all these things, with an online, you never know who's watching. Because Sarah Milliken was actually watching that one, and I got a lovely DM from her.
Oh, that's amazing!
Yeah, so like that's the nice thing about online. It's like, oh, actually, you don't know who's at them.
Yeah.
This is the thing about being a comedian as well, because straight away it's like, I didn't get a DM from Sarah.
You know Sarah, but I think it's just because you know her. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
so that's
hence
why.
sure we could have easily sent me.
Yeah, but she hasn't met me. She's like so competitive. Do you see the way she tears me down?
Oh, this leads me to my next set of questions, but it could actually potentially start more war. I was gonna, before you officially become man and wife, of the few Mr. or Mrs. questions, where we'll have a mini hen and stag here for you. So quick fire, first thought that comes to your head for each of you, right?
Okay.
If you won the lotto, what are you buying?
Oh,
is this what's Julie buying, and she have to say what I'm buying, or do we decide together?
So we say them at the same time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
3, 2, 1.
House. Yay!
Great
Yeah,
answer. Great answer. Who will be most hungover after the wedding?
Fred. No, we say them together, Papa.
Sorry, I didn't count you.
Sorry.
Okay, well, we
Okay.
just do.
I
We'll do
I
1, 2,
kind of
3.
I don't understand the game
So
like
we're
this.
saying
Well,
together
it's
at the
what,
same time.
but I'm answering
Fred.
for Julie, and Julie's answering for me.
No,
Yeah,
no,
or-
we're just
Because
giving
if I go, I'll be hungover,
Papa,
so you be
listen,
hungover.
we're just Vanuda's going to count us in, and we're just going to say the answer at the same time.
Oh, so we agree on the same thing, right? Okay,
Well,
yeah.
we might agree. That's the comedy.
Okay, oh, yeah.
Okay, what the hungover? I
Sorry.
mean, I'd say you'd be more hungover.
Yeah,
after wedding.
definitely.
Okay.
Okay,
Sorry,
so
I couldn't
Fred
answer
for
that one because
hungover.
ironically I'm kind of hungover now. I don't know.
He's not.
Who takes up the most room in the bed?
Julie.
Straight in there, Fred.
Yeah.
How do I take up most room in the bed?
Like this.
No, I tell you, Fred, I definitely take up a tiny amount of space in the bed because usually I wake up and Ted is kicking me in the face, and Fred isn't far off either. I'd say Fred.
Who made the first move?
I did.
Oh, when I was the one who suggested, Fred said, if you're ever passing through Galway, give me a shout. And I was like, who's passing through Galway? I mean, maybe if you're on your way to the Achill Islands, like, that's the only time you're passing through Galway. So I will admit this, I actually conjured up a reason to be passing through Galway and to meet him, to go on our first date. So I kind of made them, well, you went in for the shift.
That's what I thought the first move was.
Yeah, you're right. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, I engineered the date and then you went in for the shift.
50-50. It was a two-man operation. I like that.
Bit of both, yeah.
And then finally, who has the last word in an argument?
Oh, they go on forever, don't they? The arguments. It's like the bloody lockdowns here for Fanula. It's just rolling arguments all the time. I would say.
I think this question has been answered already.
No!
It's actually the truth. I think the answer was in the delivery.
Poor Julie. Right,
true.
okay. Let's move on before I'm responsible for this breakup. Talk to me about 2021 and what plans you have. Do you have any plans? What are you doing to keep busy? Anything we can expect from you?
Well, I guess getting back out on the road is the aim, but I haven't concentrated on any dates yet because there's so much uncertainty. That's as far as work, do you know, like hopefully a few TV things, you know, I'm putting stuff together and sending it out, and but it's, you know, hopefully I get to that stage. That's it, you know, just trying to look after myself and my family.
I know, and you know what? For me, well, I think we both love to get the podcast off the ground.
Yeah,
you know, so far we've been delighted with the response and the numbers, and it's something that we really enjoy doing. So it would be great to get that off the ground. I mean, I just love podcasting. It's my favorite medium. I just adore it. I mean, would be nice to get out and do a couple of gigs. I think Fred is probably better positioned to do that. You're kind of ready to go with your show, aren't you? Really?
I was about to tour before lockdown happened. So that show, and you've new shows since. So I guess if you take away all the side bits and you put all those best jokes together, you know, I think I've got a great show. I've got a good hour this time around. So
it'd be great to get if you got out on the road. Yeah.
But the podcast is, I guess, you know, giving the podcast some momentum is really what we'd love to do right now.
Yeah,
as well.
absolutely.
Finally, then, on the subject of the podcast, where can people find out more about Trapped with Fred and Julie?
Oh, I mean, done deal.
Yeah.
All the usual spots. Well, I mean, of course, we have our Instagram. We're in all the usual places. So Spotify, Apple, all of that. We haven't started a Twitter as of yet, but we're all about the gram. So you can check us out there and wherever you get your podcasts.
Amazing. Fred Cooke, Julie J, thank you so much for joining me on the GoLoud Sessions.
Thanks, Vanilla. Talk to you soon. Thanks so much for having us.